This is your flashing lights warning, and welcome to episode 2, stream number 2, of the Talos Principle 2. That's a lot of twos. Yes, it is. Well, I'm just gonna get into it because, well, I've already forgotten what we did this stream and all the editing. I'll come back when I feel like I should say something. Enjoy! Okay, now we should be able to see the glowing, green. Hey, buddy, what's going on?
I can't stop thinking about Miranda.
That's
a new
fair.
person not born in New Jerusalem? Can you imagine that? I wonder what it's like to be her.
The Who creator. Probably not that different. Lonely? Depends on who created her.
That's true. Just look at our team. Imagine getting your worldview from Byron versus, say, Melville. The outcome couldn't be more different. Which brings us back to the question of who built this place.
Exactly.
Guess we'll have to wait and see.
Mm-hmm. Do we actually have something else to ask him? Oh, we do. What do you make of all these labs?
They're very different from the rest of these structures in that they serve a clear purpose. Everything else is kind of surreal, but the labs are places where people lived and worked. I don't know what that means, but I think it means something.
That is all. Back to solving the, Pandora puzzle here. Hold on.
The hunter does not hunt because he is hungry. He hunts because he revels in death.
That. Oh, what the fuck? Ghosts? Hello? These are like actual people. What the fuck? No dialogue. I can't interact with them. What's going on? Oh, that's a tank. Like part of a tank. Are they still here? Yeah, they're still here. Tank, a machine of destruction. Armored war machine invented by ancient humans used to kill other humans and destroy infrastructure. Despite their crude appearance, great ingenuity went into the creation of these despicable machines. Where are these guys coming from, though? Maybe the humans did build this, or... Odd. Very odd. This cliff, and... What if there was a child looking for a tricycle at the other one? Anyways. This is the one I'm less sure of, but let's try it. It was a wall. There we are, you're taking. That's fine. There we go. And there, this puzzle solved.
I've managed to extract an audio file from 1K's data stream incident. It's hard to be sure, because it's just a fragment, but I think it's some kind of log or diary.
We finished a new lab today. Some processes are still harder than others, but energy output was up 2,000%.
Damn.
It's incredible how each leap forward enables another. The next iteration of the machine will...
What
So as we
machine?
suspected, someone was experimenting here, but experimenting on what?
Exactly, Byron.
What was this machine they were building?
Maybe it's whatever powers the megastructure.
is the mega structure? This one I never finished because I'm just an idiot. The other one I was also a bit of an idiot on, but I think it's besides the point. Oh, your laptop is broken? That should be somewhere in your Windows settings, I'm assuming. There we go. This is what I didn't really figure out because I just committed brain move. They should be able to check your Windows settings, and it should, I don't know what the settings are exactly, but there should be something in time and date to fix that. Alright, here we go. I was just a big old dum-dum when we first found this puzzle. And now it is done. Oh, hey, Byron. What's up, buddy? Well, you don't want to talk, eh? Oh,
Hey there, 1K.
that was weird. Hi. What do you make of this veranda?
Going on what little we have, honestly, she reminds me of myself when I'd just been born. I came out from the dam at night, and the sky was full of stars. I felt a reverence then, an almost ecstatic connection to the sublime. The universe seemed like a miracle, and to exist within it was the greatest possible honor. That view was tempered in time, but I've always tried to hold on to as much of it as I could.
That is all, Byron. Thank you. Alright, back to this weird Sphinx puzzle. What does it mean? I might as well explain what the Sphinx puzzle solution actually is. So the hint was 2, 4, 7, 8, right? That's the puzzle numbers. You go to the other side of the puzzle signs and there's a lever. You flick the little lever and there you go. You gotta flick all 4 levers and go to the Sphinx and you get your reward. Hooray! Next!
Every answer leads to another question. The last answer leads to the first question.
What type of questions are you asking? Let's play with some Tetris pieces. No. Rotate. There we go, that's 1. No. There we go. Metronomos.
Halt, creature of clay. You have strayed from your garden and entered a domain that is beyond your ken. Turn back now, before you harm yourself and others.
We weren't invited here. This is clearly Pandora. Who are you?
I am, like you, another lost child of Hephaestus in the kingdom of Artemis. But though I am lost, I know my purpose. To stand between you and the flame.
Like the Sphinx, I guess?
The Sphinx speaks in riddles and knows nothing but mysteries. She has questions, but no answers.
We weren't invited. Well, Prometheus said to come here. I don't think that's an invitation, but we were invited here.
Prometheus had no authority to summon you.
That's what I said.
He's rash and foolish and given to trickery, but his schemes lead only to ruin. Therefore heed my warning. The flame is not for you.
We will consider your words. We need to know what's going on here. The safety of New Jerusalem. We are not just going to leave because you had a bad experience with a magic box. Or we need to know more about these technologies for the future of New Jerusalem. We will consider what you say. That means we're going to completely ignore it.
Then perhaps there is hope for you yet.
I have never heard of a deception check. Oh, this one's blue.
How many of those bloody things are there?
3.
I think that was Pandora, which matches the other one being Prometheus.
They seem to be locked in some kind of conflict.
Might be wise to avoid getting caught in the crossfire until we understand what these entities actually are.
I'm making good points, but we have everything here, so it's time to go to the next area.
One K brought up an interesting question earlier. Where did all the tech in the labs come from? So, I had a look at the serial numbers. And it turns out the answer is New Alexandria.
Oh.
Wait.
Wow, I guess that makes sense. After the explosion, the colony was abandoned. Nobody ever went back for all that stuff.
We had enough to deal with. So many dead.
So that's one question answered. But how did they go from scavenged Alexandria tech to all this?
How did we go from nothing to where we are now? Through the application of reason and the right tools.
How does she even know it's from New... Oh, that's a weird one. How does she even know it's from New Alexandria? Why do we have that information? Oh well. This place... That's a person statue. Puzzles.
Look at the size of that structure.
Oh.
How does the material support so much weight? Is it the same stuff as the other buildings?
Yeah. I know it looks like some type of concrete, but the molecular structure is completely different. Whatever it is, it's a lot stronger and less brittle.
Are the labs made out of the same material?
No, that's just ordinary concrete. Although, it does have some molecular weirdness going on, too. Too little variation in the grain.
But I don't know anything about concrete. Alright, to puzzles and question marks. Away.
Just when I thought we'd found all the weird stuff.
Certainly looks like a person. Success, and turn number 3. It worked. I made a statue. Well, it worked. The design wasn't balanced, so it fell over and broke. It was very dramatic, but the good news is that it all works in principle. Imagine what we could do. Blank, using stone. Blank, parts of the environment. Blank. Miranda. Interesting.
So, humanity is great. I really believe that. And that's why I'm here. But I have to be honest with you, individual people, not always my favorite.
Yeah.
I'm not the smartest guy ever, and I know that. But there are some people, man, some people are just so dumb. I don't even know if they're actually conscious. Sometimes I think their whole lives might be like a dream. They're just stumbling around, no idea what's going on, mumbling some random nonsense. And the thing that you have to understand about our time period is that a lot of these people wield enormous power. They run whole countries and corporations. Yeah, that's right. We've handed over our civilization to people I wouldn't trust to tie their own shoelaces. And if they're dumb, then what are we? I don't honestly have an answer to that, so just please try to do better.
Well, he has a point. Melville, what's up?
Did something break?
Fingers. Tell me about New Alexandria.
New Alexandria. What a mess. It was an attempt to start a new city, but it went about as sideways as it goes. Gas explosion, more than 30 dead, unrecoverable. Al was there for the whole thing.
Why would so much tech from New Alexandria be here?
Because the whole place was abandoned. Byron insisted that we had to rebuild, but for the survivors, it was just too traumatic to deal with. So
Understandable.
I guess that stuff was just lying around for someone to pick up.
Ooh. That is all. Thank you, Melville. Positional interchange. What the fuck is that? Inverter. Oh, I think I know. Got to connect that. There we go. It's not 100% correct. Let's do that. I'm not sure what that is for initially, but... I need red. Ugh. Fuck, I see why this is also. Give me the box. Right, I can't take the box. Taking this. Okay. This is tricky. I think that turns everything on. Everything off. Placing here. This should solve it. That goes up. Perfect. Puzzle number 8 solved. It's a sea urchin, isn't it?
I think
Something like
about
that.
New Alexandria all the time. But realizing this place was built on its bones just brings it all back even more. We were so optimistic when we started. So full of ourselves. We thought we could accomplish anything. And then, in one single moment, it was all gone. I remember a flash, and then just lying there, realizing that my legs had melted. I tried to pull myself away from the fire, but the servos in my arms were broken. If Eustathius hadn't found me, sorry. Just some old scars.
Man has PTSD, and he feels guilty. This is why he's ever so cautious with everything he does. He doesn't want the same thing to happen again. This is a robot.
There's so much to discover on this island that sometimes it overwhelms me. Every lake, every forest contains an incredible, interconnected, permanently changing network of organisms. And every one of those organisms is almost infinitely complex and contains other organisms within itself. It seems impossible to ever really grasp, but then, step by step, I do understand. It takes time and effort, but it's not impossible. And there's a lot of joy to be found in simply taking the time to truly study something. I spent 5 years studying a single flower, and it never got boring.
Interesting. Part of me feels like Miranda survived the explosion, stumbled upon some weird tech or something, was able to make all this herself. Puzzle. Backwards propagation. Huh. Nope. Blue, blue. Red, blue. I have no idea what colors are going to come out where, so I'm just going to do this. So red should go to blue, that goes back to red. That turns that off. But the thing is, if I go over here, it's not connected to anything. With this, it can't be. I can't take this through here. If I do like this, it's just going to break everything harder. That was the solution, okay?
Good. Let's get some measurements from this particle cloud.
Melville? Alright. Question mark over here. Cat sitting device? Oh, cat sitting, it calls cat, Bruce, and keeps keying on my charging pot. Is there anything I can do to prevent this? Pulling it very thoroughly. Not a single trace of smell remains. I'm tired without the ability to smell. But we do have some clean agents that should do the trick. Contact me on private if you need a list. I'll make sure Bruce isn't stressed by something. Cats are liking to move from their territory. Maybe it would be easier if you moved him back to a good place and fed in there. No, Bruce is just a bastard. He loves being on anything electrical and cables, generally just breaking stuff. This is normal, I warned you. How do we know? I could give him to Neith. She's used to it. He's so fuzzy, and I love him. Cats. I love it.
The rotting remains of the old world should fill me with melancholy. Even here on this remote island, our ancestors could not escape their fate. And yet, I find there is something pathetic about these ruins that evokes anger and even contempt. I feel it is a mistake to accept this catastrophe with equanimity. What we see here should offend us. When witnessing this triumph of entropy, we should aspire to a warrior spirit, even a kind of hate of the past and its failures that will never allow such a thing to happen again.
Prometheus spark.
I think you just picked up some kind of decryption key. Could try using it on those terminals inside the puzzles.
I could, but that's fucking brain dead shit. Those are hints. I'm not taking the hints. Fuck that. Refraction, okay. Let's see here. Blue to red. Red, back to blue. Yeah, I'm take this over here and put here. Cross the barrier. Red back to blue. And it is salt. Founding 3. From Iketas Journal, Volume 1, The Founding of New Jerusalem. Day 42, we broke ground on the first of the permanent structures today. A large hall that will eventually be converted into a performance and exhibition space, my idea. Although for now we'll use it as a workshop. It's strange, this place. There's a lot of open space. I didn't think that I would find it so unusual, but I suppose we all spend more time at the dam than was originally planned. And now it's difficult to get used to not having that low ceiling over our heads. It's probably just me. Byron loves being outside and is always volunteering for scavenging missions. Liv usually tags along, although he seems more fascinated with observing nature and various weird creatures. At night, sometimes I catch myself standing by the door, not because I have guard duty, just watching the stars. It's oddly comforting to think that they've always been there, that they watched our ancestors, standing where I now stand. That's a From Miranda to unknown. We finished setting up the external site of the lake. The area is so stunning throughout the experiment for a while and went for a long walk. The ways in which all the different aspects of nature interact with each other are endlessly fascinating to me, and the sheer variety of living things, even on a simple green meadow. Sadly, when we then stumbled onto the carcass of a deer that had been torn apart by the wolves, I must have suffered enormously, and thinking about that made me feel truly terrible. There's so much pain in nature. Ecosystem engineers. Cutting down colossal trees for their building projects, thoughtlessly causing radical changes to large environments and forcing local species to adapt to their artificial habitats. These are the traits of a species of intelligent, industrious, and extremely impactful ecosystem engineers. Humans? No, I'm talking about beavers. Like us, beavers transform their environments via building, and their actions have real consequences, creating vast wetlands that some species thrive in, while others die. Human activities is very similar. We too are ecosystem engineers, and we too benefit some species while harming others. Everything about this is completely natural, including the damage to other species. After all, that's what competition and evolution is all about. The species that adapt to the ecosystems we create will, over the coming millennia, become the core of a new biodiversity. And so evolution runs its course. If we don't like the result, if we think some species should be preserved despite being outcompeted, well, that's anything but natural. It is, however, very human. Miranda. It's fascinating how so much of what we do is common in animals, but furthered enormously by our intelligence and our ability to remember. Through us, the universe strives to a greater level of complexity. Unknown. But does the universe have the capacity to strive for anything? We must be careful to avoid it, reject it, human values onto the cosmos. Well, very interesting thought provoking. Puzzle number 3. There and back again. There. Hello. Hello. Okay. Well, the thing is, I can't take this. But it still breaks the circuit. Yeah, I can't do this. But if I could somehow get... Oh, wait a minute. Technically correct. Okay, now we have this over here. Take this. That gives us the RGB converter. Okay. Oops. So that's side of the puzzle. There we are. So that's blue, that's red, green, and it's ours. Very content. Paris was an ancient city, sometimes called the City of Lights. One of the great capitals of the world, home to tradition and innovation alike. It was the birthplace of one of the greatest revolutions in history, the moment that gave birth to modernity and all its glories and forms alike. The spirit of freedom that was born here, although it was suppressed by enemies and traitors, never entirely faded, and it lived on in the minds of artists for many generations. Maybe something of that spirit remains in us.
When we go to New Jerusalem, I'm going to have a cat. He's going to be black and white, and his name is going to be Bean. And I'm going to make sure that he never gets sick, and he never gets old, and he'll be my best friend forever.
Well, that is very wholesome. That is not how biologics work. I'm sorry, Miranda. Your cat is going to die. Anyway, puzzle number 2. Energy mains. In here. I need to get a red and a blue over here, which is the thing I should. Matter puzzle solving when we crack ourselves. That door will open. We'll be fine. Puzzle solved. Yeah, it
I
tells you
sent the
the door.
drone to have a look at one of the other puzzle clusters. It seems they remain inert until they're connected. I uploaded the pictures to the log.
Should we check them out with the VTOL?
Let's conserve fuel as much as we can. There's no point in going there if it's all dead.
Point. Conversion. I think that's supposed to teach you how these things work initially, it seems, but... Oh, there's a blue one here. Of course, someone's going to be easy for the first puzzle. Keep doing these out of order. Reconnected. Okay. Yep. I don't know what's going to be useful here, but I'll check everything. Not actually didn't do anything for us because we can't make it through here. Can't get to this one because it's not. This can't get a real hole in the wall here. This should allow us to do is that. That also. Oh, wait, that's going to be it all. Okay, there's a button this thing's on. Hello. Interesting. Okay. Oh, we can't do anything through here, can we? There we go. Puzzle solved. What? Interface outside. The garden, new column. Walking garden up here, as stars swirl across the sky, and I stand amongst the tall lilies, lift their faces to passing eons. Yea, will do no harm come to me, for as my long journey is over, and I am at home. Which will makes me feel calm and happy. This is my new favorite of yours, I think, although maybe step by step towards the nightingales might still win out. That takes time. Words are definitely beautiful, but to me, it seems like a poem about death. I think our journey is over. Maybe it'll never be over. The great dream. But all is just a momentary stop, a place where we rest for a little while before we go on new adventures. Interesting. What's thought humanity's journey as long and exhausting search for a new home? Homes are important, but we are wanderers in mesh. We need new horizons. And the more we travel, the more we see our homes, new lives, and find more to love. Wow, response from Byron himself. Thank you for your thoughts, everyone. I really appreciate them. Very nice. What is this question mark? Lab.
Every site we've investigated has had one of these labs, but they seem primitive compared to some of the technology we're seeing above ground.
Are we even sure that the labs and the puzzles belong to the same people?
There seems to be a connection between the experimental setups in the labs and some of the puzzle technology.
Correlation does not necessarily imply causation, though.
True. But just because we don't understand the connection, that doesn't mean it's not there. What we have here is two things that reflect each other. We just don't understand how that reflection works or what causes it.
Maybe Miranda can tell us.
Can't. Ferrofluid, I think. Or something, I have no idea. Magnetics. The end draft. After a lifetime dedicated to a written word, I'm faced with a task I could never have expected. Writing an epitaph not only for myself, but for my species in the unlikely event that Alexandria Darren is successful, and one day someone reads this. What meaningful insights can I share into this strange phenomenon that is humanity? I've spent days thinking about it, but now I'm running out of time, so I'll sit down one thought that I simply can't shake. It didn't have to be this way. More time, we could have found a cure. With a few political victories, we could have been prepared, change any factor, even by a little, and we would have made it. This isn't divine punishment, it's just dumb luck. We're up to data. I'm reaching for something here, but I don't know what it is. Forgiveness, grace, acceptance? No. I hate the idea of accepting this. Hope, maybe. I feel like the story's unfinished. Maybe it should be. No epitaph for humanity. I'm afraid Brennan is right. It didn't have to be this way. And yet, it was. We have a little comment. Aron. From 51 Tales by Lord Dunsay. Dunsay? I have no idea. John leaned forward and rode. All things were one with his weariness. It was not with him a matter of years or of centuries, but of wide floods of time, and an old heaviness and pain in the arms that had become for him part of the scheme that the gods had made and was of a piece with eternity. If the gods had even sent him a contrary wind, it would have divided all time in his memory into two equal slabs. The grey were all things always where he was, that if any radiance lingered a moment among the dead, on the face of such a queen perhaps as Cleopatra, his eyes could not have perceived it. It was strange that the dead nowadays were coming in such numbers that they were coming in thousands where they used to come in 50s. It was neither Charon's duty nor his wont to ponder in his great soul why these things might be. Aron leaned forward and wrote. Then no one came for a while. It was not unusual for the gods to send no one down from Earth for such a space. But the gods knew best. Then one man came alone, and the little shade sat shivering on the lonely beach, and the great boat pushed off. Only one passenger, the gods knew best. And the brave Mary Taran rode on and on, beside the silent, the little, silent, shivering ghost. And the sound of the river was like a mighty sigh of grief in the beginning had sighed amongst her sisters, and that could not die like the echoes of human sorrowing failing on earthly hills, but was as old as time and the pain in Charon's arms. Then the boat from the slow grey river loomed up the coast like this, and the little silent shade still shivered steps short. And Charon turned the boat to go wearily back to the world, and then the little shade spoke. That had been a man. I am the last, he said. No one had ever made Charon smile before. No one before had ever made him weep. Or Miranda, there's an obvious and perhaps intended interpretation that this is the end of humanity, and the last shadow is the last human to live. While another interpretation is equally possible, that humanity has achieved immortality, and that the last shadow is the last human to die. I prefer the latter. The Elmo Project. Originally unsuccessful, same result, weird. Modified game sites and unexpected error. Consistent results, simultaneous trials are affecting each other by unknown mechanisms. What's going on here? The QR codes in the original game. Also, just because you achieve immortality, that doesn't mean anyone never dies. True immortality is like curse. There'll still be disease, there'll still be a truck going 40 miles an hour straight into a wall. You can somehow make immortality against that, well, good for you. My idea is that the labs were made first, and then they made everything else. It's like an art installation after they figured everything out, you know? Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. Next. Get it. Well, if we can get green in here somehow. That's not the right color. On the corner. Inverter. Oh, that door's open. I need two things over on this side of the, button. What's this? Let's solve one. It doesn't solve anything. What I need is a door opened. I need this door opened like in the red. If I pick this up, it's just going to break everything. Let's do something like this. Alright, this door isn't open. How did I open this door again? Because I had this open for a moment. Or was that the actual solution right there? And it was, okay, that was. Sometimes you have an idea and your subconscious solving the puzzle instead of you. But the puzzle solved.
The wheel turns, but without the road, it cannot move.
I mean, if you build a good wheel, it can fucking run off-road. I think that's supposed to be like a metaphor or something, but it's the Sphinx, who knows. Sway to this puzzle? Yes. Train's position, okay. Hey, Jagger's not jamming anything. Everything on this side is stuck over here. Really there. Oh, no. I kept that door open, alright. Oh, we have a drill. Oh. How do we get over there? Oh, we have to get out blue also. Alright, got it. Nothing with this. Just put that over there. This is the only source for color here. I don't think, I think there's a way to position these. Yeah, there's no way to position this with that in mind. Fucking. There we go. Alright, that wasn't too bad. Imprisoned. Do anything else? Oh, there's the exit. Oh. Oh. Oh, yes. Yes. Okay. Let's do anything for that one. Okay. Then step one. Step one. Step two. And completion. Alright, now we just have Pandora's box to figure out.
We begin with the self, because that is what determines our existence as individuals. But the self cannot exist without that which surrounds it. The citizen lives within the city, and the city lives within the cosmos. So now we must apply the principle we have discovered to the wider world and ask, if man is like a machine, could it be that the universe is similar in nature? And if so, what follows from that fact?
Are you going to answer any of these questions, or just ask them? This is why you shouldn't play a philosophy game alone unless you actually know things about philosophy. I tried playing it with chat, but chat's not there. Nobody watches my streams. Why are you watching this video? That's not even a genuine question. Just continue to enjoy yourself and keep up the watch time. Okay, bye.
False idols are worshipped not because they are idols, but because they are false. True idols are rejected because the truth is feared.
I feel like you're mixing idioms or something. Oh, hey, somebody wants to chat. Byron! 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 Byron? Byron?
Hey, 1K.
Hey, Byron. Tell me about New Alexandria.
We made two fatal mistakes in New Alexandria. One was trusting the texts of our ancestors without thinking for ourselves. The other was giving up instead of doubling down, letting the tragedy define our future.
That's fair. What do you make of Pandora?
It's clear that there's some kind of antagonistic force in this place, something that doesn't want us to discover the purpose of the megastructure. Perhaps that's part of the testing. Or perhaps it's what's responsible for this state of decay.
What is the symbolic value of these entities we're encountering?
That's a good question. Prometheus is often taken to represent freedom and progress, the ideals of the radical enlightenment. Pandora, on the other hand, usually represents the dangers of those very ideals, so they're counterparts, in a way.
That's the
And
same coin.
The Sphinx is a mystery.
Sphinx is the flipping of the
Does that mean
coin.
that these entities correspond to these concepts? Perhaps. They certainly seem to act like it. But Athena isn't the goddess of Athens, and I'm not Robert Byron, although those are the origins of our names. Where does myth end and history begin? We'll have to find out.
Good point. And that is all. Up to Prometheus, I assume. After we solve some Talos. Yeah, that's alright. That's alright. Easy. Did this earlier? Maybe around the back of this? No. Oh, let me go. 13 color again. Oh no, it's the Sphinx.
When the craftsman Daedalus was imprisoned in the very labyrinth he had created, his only solace was his son, Icarus. To escape their plight, he fashioned wings of feathers and wax. He warned his son to fly neither too high nor too low, but his son, enraptured by the freedom of flight, flew too close to the sun. Thus the wax in his wings melted, and he fell to his death. What was the sun's error?
Hubris, the flame of the sun belongs to the gods? No. Disobedience, he should have listened to his father? No. Carelessness, he did not use his wings correctly? Probably. Impatience, if he wanted to soar high, he should have built better wings. Given the position? No. Lawlessness, he should have never attempted to escape the labyrinth. Why were they in the labyrinth? I forget. Idiocy, the wings were made from wax. I mean, come on. Carelessness, he was careless.
Or was it Daedalus who was careless, giving the wings to Icarus, knowing that all young men are rash.
That's sexist.
After the death of his son, Daedalus withdrew in sorrow to a foreign land.
That's fair.
King Minos came looking for the craftsman to exact his revenge. The answer to a riddle revealed where Daedalus dwelled. But for Minos, that answer was his ruin. Consider King Minos, burned in his bath, as you seek your own answer.
But what if I don't know the story of King Minos? I've totally forgotten it.
The megastructure. It's opening.
3 receivers, 3 towers, 3 beams, as we suspected. I think this is an invitation.
Doesn't look that inviting to me.
If you consider the size of the entire structure, then that opening must be big enough to drive a building through.
Or the VTOL.
You want us to go in there, into the creepy triangular maw of death.
Maw of death? I think it looks charming.
Byron's right. We're here to explore, and this is a mystery worth investigating. This technology could change everything.
Oh, all right. I'm not winning this, am I?
Nope.
Exactly.
Let's meet up at the VTOL, everybody. We're going in.
Well, to the VTOL, I guess, since I assume there are no other puzzle areas unlocked yet. Pretty sure we found everything in the last area.
I finished my analysis of the particle clouds. At first I thought they might be some kind of nanotechnology, but I was wrong. It's a lot worse than that. What we're looking at is a completely unknown type and state of matter.
Oh, that's great.
Completely inexplicable within our understanding of physics. Created and manipulated by someone.
Fascinating.
Very.
Come on, people. Get on board. We haven't got all day. Yakut, take us in.
Aye, aye, sir.
Have any of you ever read an ancient writer called Ian Banks? I guess not. He postulated the concept of the outside context problem. That's when a society encounters something so advanced, so different, that they simply could not have conceived of it. That's what this is. This whole place is one giant outside context problem. And we're headed right into it.
Not wrong.
I think I can set down over there.
Yeah,
Should I?
whatever.
Please
Well.
do. I can't wait to get a closer look.
A pyramid on a pyramid.
Setting down.
Okay, everyone. We need to explore as much as we can, separately if need be, but stay in touch. Record anything interesting you find, and pay special attention to any clues as to who built this place and why.
The schematics we found in that lab were extremely incomplete. So if you can find any more of those, that would be great.
I think someone should stay at the VTOL just in case.
I volunteer you. See you later, Al.
Al didn't want to come in here anyways. Let's see what we got in here.
Hold on a second, 1K.
What?
I think I can find an override for that door.
Okay.
Maybe after that, you can help me with this elevator?
One problem at a time. What's going on with these file structures? Okay, door should be opening.
It has.
About the elevator.
Actually, the elevator's fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. No idea where I am, but it's working.
Boy.
Don't go too far. Try to circle back.
On it.
You're going to be lost in there. Oh, hey, wait.
Hey, 1K, can we talk for a second? That whole thing with the elevator just gave me the creeps.
Why are you over here? But sure, what's up?
When we first arrived here, I was really excited. It's such a huge place. The technology is so advanced. If we figure out what it all means, we could really change the future of New Jerusalem.
Yes, we could.
The mayor says we have to avoid repeating the mistakes our ancestors made, to stay humble, to not reach too far. And that sounds very abstract, but I've seen the ancient cities. I've seen how much they built, how much they grew, how far they fell. So I've been thinking, what if all this sets us on the same path? What if this is too much power for anyone to control?
Right, this place is could be dangerous, but we need to understand it. I think it's more complex than that. Power isn't necessarily good or bad. I don't think what went wrong with our ancestors was too much power. Honestly, I think it's too early to tell. I think your original impulse was correct. New Jerusalem needs this technology. The mayor's premise is wrong. He's assuming history can only develop in one way. I don't think what went wrong with our ancestors was too much power. It was not knowing how to use the amount of power we had. These two options are the ones I want to pick. Top right and middle left. Well, let's go with this one.
Then what do you think it was?
Really a lack of power. With more control over their biology, they could have survived. They got their priorities wrong. If they properly invested in medicine before the virus, they would have survived. They weren't careful about the side effects of their growth, otherwise the virus would have never been released. Most of them wanted to do things differently, but their political system wouldn't let them. It was just bad luck. A confluence of bad things happening all at once. They almost made it. Doesn't matter what it was. We're not them. That's not a good answer to me. They weren't careful about the side effects of their growth, otherwise the virus would have never been released. You have to be careful with the power you wield. Even a little power can corrupt even the sanest of person.
But that's exactly what the mayor thinks. Their obsession with growth damaged the planet, and that's what killed them.
It didn't kill them, they're still here. In us, because Alexander Drennan believed in civilization and technology. There were ways of controlling those side effects. They failed to use them. But that doesn't mean we have to. But it's not the growth itself that's the problem. It's how you grow. I guess the mayor's right after all. Not the growth itself it's the problem. It's how you grow.
You're right. Sometimes I just get too pessimistic.
That's alright,
We do
buddy.
have choices to make.
Exactly.
That was the whole point of the simulation. Thanks for talking to me, 1K. I know we're in the middle of something, but I kind of needed that.
Okay, can you answer me the question of how you got from the elevator over to here, though? No? You're just gonna stand there? Menacingly? I don't think that's the... He's following us! Run! I know I did a funny little joke there, but that is also a genuine question. How the fuck did he get over here? And also with the puzzle piece in the next section we go to, that will deepen the mystery of how the fuck he got there.
Looks like another set of puzzles. Same pattern, 1 gate, 3 receivers. Like some sort of fractal symmetry.
What I was meaning about. Oh, it's helpful. Activate 3 beams, okay. I'll go left first.
I hate getting locked out of parts of the system. I think I've tracked down some more schematics, though. Let's see. This might do something. Or not.
Poor Melville. There we go.
This is madness. Even the walls are bursting with power.
You have to say, Melville? No title, no hit. Metronomy. Well, that's obviously not correct. There's so many ways to do this. Oh, hello. Alrighty. Oh, I gotta get blue to the converter. There's some bug somewhere, it's annoying. Solve this. Hello? Wire. Hold the lever, Kronk! Good job, Kronk. That was actually the right lever.
1K.
Oh, no, it's making that buzzing noise, it's gonna be annoying. Alright, what the hell's going on here? Get to the lever. Okay, take this here, I don't know what to do with it. Okay, so we don't get trapped by these doors. That's obviously wrong. Got by the wall. Over here. Oh, it's gonna be fairly annoying and confusing, isn't it? Doesn't have the height to do anything over here. We have a box that's contained to these two rooms. We have a node whose only other connection is that by default. It's red. You take one wrong step and get K2. That's standing in the same place. Eat a liar. Okay, got it. That and that. I'm gonna open the door over here to this lever, which could do something. There it is.
Well done.
Thank you. Alright, onto the green section over here. More tetranos.
I wonder how far down this goes.
Okay. Like there should be more to this. Is that literally the puzzle? I guess it was.
The gate's open. 1K if you want to. Go ahead. I'll finish up scanning this.
Oh no. Question. From Miranda to garbled nonsense. I was doing some reading while the last trial was running and I came across something. I don't understand. There are a lot of references to ancient humans feeling that science is boring. To me, everything we're studying is mind-bendingly incredible. Whether it's quark, gluon, confinement, or neutrino-antineutrino oscillations, or even something incredibly basic like the properties of light. I understand why our ancestors cared about art, why a beautifully crafted story or poem was moving to them, but how can they not see that everything that surrounds us is just as incredible? Studying science is like studying the most incredible machine ever created. A machine designed to build worlds and tell stories. How can they not see that? I'm sure there's a good explanation, but I don't get it because I don't understand what the fuck happens. Schematica! Overload! Overload! Hello, Miranda.
Mother? What are you thinking about, Mother?
The Talos principle. You see, it has two applications. One is to the self. It means facing the truth even if it frightens us. Understanding that living beings are machines and we can't afford to lie to ourselves. But that's just the beginning. The second application is to the world. This one seems easier at first. It's less difficult to understand that the universe is a machine, governed by laws.
So we and the universe are the same?
No, and that's the crucial part. We are conscious. Consciousness is rare, unlikely, but it's also the foundation of everything else. Without us, there can be no meaning. Without someone to perceive it, the beauty of the universe is pointless. But that shouldn't make us arrogant. No, in fact, it means we carry a tremendous responsibility. We are the light of the cosmos, and if we go out, there will be nothing but a cold, dark machine.
Act 2. The human form. Divine.
Athena!
The founder was here?
She could still be here. What if this is why she left, to build all this? We have to look for her.
I'm reading some pretty big energy spikes. I think we better scramble.
But she could be right here, right behind the next door. I could turn around a corner and walk right into her.
If she's really here, she'll still be here when we come back. But right now, safety needs to come first. Let's go, Byron.
Al is right.
Oh, damn you, but you're right. Heading back.
On the way back, I just have to solve one more Tetramino to get back there. Easy. If I
Was that
sprint.
really the founder?
I think so.
It was her. For years, I've wondered what happened to her, why she left, where she went, why she didn't tell me.
If the answers are here, I promise you we'll find them. We just have to be careful. Follow protocol.
Also, if you notice, the Miranda and Athena are two differently
I still
built
can't believe
robots.
The founder built this place. Has she been here the whole time?
We don't know that she actually built it. All we know for sure is that she was here at some point.
Of course she built this. Who else would have the kind of vision necessary to accomplish something like this? The question is why? And why like this? Why recreate all these aspects of the simulation? What is she trying to tell us?
It does seem like it might be a test. I can't imagine any other explanation. But why is it so broken? Or does it just appear to be broken so that we have to learn how to fix it? I hate this.
Well, I know one thing for sure. Everyone in New Jerusalem is gonna go absolutely nuts.
All right, take us back to base camp, Yakut.
Yes, sir. I'm getting some new readings. Looks like 2 of the northern sites are lighting up.
I think that may have been me. I suspect the puzzles are somehow tied to the transport system. Like we're supposed to solve them in a particular order.
Our main objective is getting back into the megastructure. 1K, I want you on puzzles. You seem to have a knack for them. But the rest of us can't neglect our secondary objectives of studying this island and understanding this technology.
You got it, Byron. So, Athena was here. Or was she? The thing is with that flashback is that it's in a weird place. Like, weird, tiny, floppy Egypt place. The place between Elohim and the living world. What if she was never here? What if she was dead? And somehow Miranda, or something with Miranda, and mind uploads or something. Who knows what's going on here? I don't think she's here. I think Miranda built this place herself. And Athena might just be gone, and I feel like Byron's going to have a heartbreak. But I don't know anything yet, even after this stream. But, next.
You should be headed towards an island off the northern coast. The terrain's pretty rough, so be careful.
You got it, boss.
The island has another island attached to it.
Yes, it has several, actually.
How irritating.
What?
Puzzle 1. Mind-body dualism. Oh, this is different. What in the god? What the fuck? Wait, that's just another us. Okay, so it does say 1,000. Here's our original body. Puzzle solved. Oh, that's... Please see discussion of the life versions of the founder inside the structure confined to this thread. I'm still in shock as the founder was alive. Of course she is. And now we reach completion nation's center sacred messengers. They could still be aliens pretending to be the founders, not aliens. And if Prometheus and Pandora are sacred messengers, why has one apparently chained the other? The day of return's imminent. So now you agree that Byron was right to want an expansion. In fact, it was the founder's will all along. And when you said it would be wrong to even consider going to the island, you were acting against the founder. Your word games are going to help you when the founder returns. Are we not? I cannot read names. It was wonderful to hear Thena's voice again. But with all the emotions inherent in this matter, we should be careful not to get swept away. We don't really understand anything yet. I can't help but wonder, if Miranda is her daughter, was Athena trying to start a new civilization? Did she abandon New Jerusalem? Never been New Jerusalem, it's inconceivable. She was always a leader. Maybe she wanted to experience something private. Let's go with that one. Well, the point, she had enormous responsibilities from the very beginning, and while we were a family, she had too many burdens to ever have a private life of her own. I understand your point, but why leave Cornelius behind? That's none of our business. Fair enough. End of thread. Interesting.
Miranda is the founder's daughter.
Yes.
Still kind of blowing my mind. She came all the way out here, left everything she had behind, and created a new life.
Yes.
Why do you think she did that?
Because creating new life is beautiful. To help her with her secret project. Perhaps she was lonely. I don't have a clue. I honestly don't know why she would do this.
Neither do I. Maybe she was just lonely.
She had plenty of people back home. Well, but then again, she was a poignant political figure. I just wanted to ask you something else. How are you feeling? You okay?
I'm not sure, to be honest. This is all so surreal.
That's fair.
Walking around here is so peaceful, but it's also, I don't know. One moment I feel inspired, the next, kind of creeped out.
I get you. Why is the northern part of the island mostly underwater?
Our ancestors relied heavily on fossil fuels for energy generation, which released a lot of carbon dioxide. This caused the atmosphere to trap more heat, which changed the planet's overall climate. The effect continued even after they were gone, and these low-lying areas were flooded. I've seen a lot of places like that.
Did you ever meet the founder?
No, I never did. I would have loved to.
Have you changed your mind about trying some puzzles?
Nope.
Damn. What'd you make of the megastructure's interior?
You know, people throw around the word awesome a lot. I probably do it too, but I think what we saw in there is the proper meaning of the word.
I can agree with that. That is all. Thank you. To puzzle number 2. Wake up. Hello, me. That doesn't matter which body. Take platform. Okay. No, wait, no, I have no idea. No, I have no idea. I'm pretty sure that's probably an achievement for getting through this game and retaining your original body, but I do not care. Take that. I would submit that an achievement. Back that door.
Any further insights on the particle clouds, Melville?
To be honest with you, Byron, I feel like a caveman trying to study Bose-Einstein condensate. I'm seeing unknown particles whose every property violates the laws of physics, apparently capable of being controlled and recombined into just about anything. It's ridiculous.
Maybe someone in New Jerusalem can figure it out.
Sure, just give them another 1,000 years.
Yep. Puzzle 3. It's weird how it's all the same body. I don't know. Gameplay mechanics. Number 3. Fuel stream. Okay. There we go. Not quite. There we go.
Not bad, 1K.
Thank you.
Hi,
Hi, Melville.
I've been watching you solve these puzzles, and this body replication tech is incredible.
Weird.
It just casually blows up the very foundations of our society.
Right, this is revolutionary. I mean, yeah, if somebody has a damaged body, but you can convert them, you can get their mind into a new one. Yeah.
You can say that again. Making even just one of us is bloody hard. We're not like toasters. You don't just weld together a couple of wires and a motherboard and call it a day. Not to mention how hard it is to even find some of the materials. And this thing just, poof, new human.
Goal was to stop at 1,000, wasn't it?
It was. Or was it? And even if it was, sorry to be heretical,
That's fine.
but does it matter? If we can figure out how this works, we can finally, easily create more people. We can grow. We can expand. We can build a real civilization. Isn't that worth pursuing?
So make duty, spread consciousness. Maybe there is some point where there's enough people, but this is not it. Maybe there are legitimate reasons to limit the population. This is very dangerous. We need to limit ourselves for a reason. I don't really have an opinion on this. There is a point where there's enough people, but this is not it.
Look, yes. Large amounts of people can cause problems. But even the problems they cause are interesting. Because without people, the world is boring. I'm not even saying there isn't some planetary limit. But I've done the maths. It's in the high billions, not a measly 1,000. Anyway, we all need to think about what this means. Glad you and I are more or less on the same page.
Alright, I'll get back to work. Got anything else to say? Nope. Byron! Byron! Hey, Byron.
Hey there, 1K.
What if Athena left the island long ago?
Then at least we may be able to find out what happened in New Jerusalem. Why she came here. But I don't think she left the island. I think she's still here, waiting for us to make the right choices.
I think they're holding on to hope. I hope you're right. Reason to think so, I agree, she has to be. Makes you think that. I doubt she's still here. What if it's a hoax? Someone faking her voice? What makes you think that?
It's hard to articulate. There just seems to be so much intent here. There has to be a reason for all this. And Athena is the only reason that makes sense.
Fair. Tell me a joke.
Okay. How many robots does it take to change a light bulb?
6. I don't know how many.
Replacing a light bulb is a waste of resources, and the founder would be outraged.
That's... You're making fun of, like, Herman, aren't you? That's hilarious.
Herman didn't seem to think so.
Yeah, because it's targeted at him. Why do you believe there should be more people?
I think every single human being is completely unique, and every instance of consciousness is a miracle. The more of us there are, the more alive the universe is. And the more we all interact with each other, the more complex the life of the universe becomes. So I believe that people are a fundamental good. I don't believe we're all flawless, but I think every one of us matters precisely because nothing else does.
You're right. You think the mega structure technology could be misused?
Could be, yes, of course. All technology has the potential to be misused, from fire and the wheel to whatever makes these particle clouds. But that doesn't mean it has to be.
Exactly. Does your faith in humanity ever waver?
In the principle of it, no. It's not just that I believe humanity is fundamentally good, although I do. It's that I think sentience is the foundation of everything else. What's the point of stars and galaxies, of hills and forests, without someone to perceive them. But my faith that we can actually grow up, that we can break out of these loops and take control of our destiny, that's something I struggle with every single day.
That's very fair. How did Mayor Herman get elected?
Herman? Honestly, I think he makes people feel safe. The world beyond our walls is frightening. Human history is full of failures and disasters. It's easy to look at that and recoil. Herman offers a vision of the future that feels contained, manageable.
That's so bad? That's a fantasy. Life will always be a struggle. That's a fantasy, a return to a golden age that never existed. But what do we sacrifice to gain that safety?
Precisely. Our curiosity, our creativity, our ability to grow. Everything that made us who we are. To me, that's not worth it.
Technology isn't the problem. Why did our ancestors destroy themselves?
Because they refused to grow up. They refused to take control of their lives. They let bureaucrats and financiers determine their destiny, and those people could not think beyond themselves, beyond the tiny, insignificant moment they were trapped in. Their technology could have saved them, but what really failed them was their imagination.
What are the implications of Melville's analysis of the particle clouds?
Athena was always trying to understand the reality underneath what we perceive, the objective truth. That's why she was capable of leaving the simulation. And even after she was free, she never stopped trying to understand more. I suspect her research took her another step closer to understanding the truth. And such steps always challenge our conception of the universe. But that's the wonderful thing about science. We can adapt our views to the evidence.
Do you believe the existence of something sublime or transcendent?
In the sense of an interventionist deity? No. I wouldn't rule out the possibility, but it's not something I personally believe.
Very fair.
But I do think there is something genuinely sublime in this universe, and it's right in front of us. Consciousness. The fact that this sense of self is even possible, that an arrangement of matter can produce a self-aware mind? Think about it. It's a fundamental property of the universe, an unbreakable law that matter has the inherent capacity to become more than the sum of its parts. That is the definition of transcendence.
I noticed that Miranda called Athena her mother.
She did, yes.
Is that unusual?
Some people in New Jerusalem choose to live in family units, although usually that involves marriage or equivalent ceremonies, not having children. You could say that Athena was a kind of mother to us, and Cornelius a kind of father, but it's not quite the same.
Nice. That is all. Well, let's find the next puzzle, I guess.
This body replication technology is proof of just how vital this expedition is. We may not know how it works and what its limitations are, but the technology itself isn't even what really matters. What matters is to expand our imagination, to realize that other futures are possible. I'm glad you see it that way too, 1K. After all, the world is better with you in it, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, it is. Sometimes you have conversations in this game, and it does make you look at your own life. This is why you should play this game yourself and not be watching me play it. And I say that as somebody who wants you to watch more of this video for watch time and algorithmic bullshit. Anyways, puzzle number 4 we couldn't figure out because, well, there's a, law in game development. Don't make the player look up, because humans just naturally do not look up. I'll come back to solve this puzzle and not solve it too. You'll see, you'll see how we solve it eventually. We're just an idiot. Anyways, next. Passing through. We have a platform. Oh, we have a box. Oh, we have us. But all this, we're supposed to... Oh, I know. That's all. Let's get James for that now. Oh, wait, no, I see. Let's do anything for us. How some top ourselves. Unless we can do this. Yeah, no, that's what I thought. Well, how do we get that over here? Oh, this is a set of puzzles that makes me want to throw off. But this is more or less the initial state of things. Well, our guy's in there, but... we can't place... unless we can, it's just being... okay, it's just being a tad difficult. Just in case he wakes up and wants to come out. Alright, that's a puzzle solved. Bonus puzzle solved. Body verification. The technology discovered by the acquisition changes everything. Every argument about how hard it is to access resources necessary to create more of those goes out the window. We can create more people. 1K doesn't have to be the last, and it would be easier. We're really going to give up because of the goal. Energy doesn't just come from nowhere. We have no idea what the real cost behind this technology is. Besides, the goal is an ideal, not just a limit we ran into by accident. There's a little founder. Yeah, right. It's not necessary to share or personally with the founder to understand the value of the goal. It's clear. It's clear to all, but the most radical that humanity needs limits for its own sake and for the sake of the planet. You say that as if it was self-evident. It's not. You're smuggling a whole host of mythanthropic ideas into conversation under the disguise of reasonableness. Your premises are completely wrong. I believe the results of human history speaks for themselves. I find it shocking that anyone would disagree with something so obvious. Shocking that anyone would value human beings and think that maybe our ancestors could have solved their problems using their brains instead of preaching misery for all. That maybe there is some horseshit point in blaming other factors beyond technology and growth. Like, I don't know, perhaps people in positions of authority preaching their self-important shit morality instead of trying to solve ordinary people's problems. Authority, I'm just an academic. That's completely disingenuous. You know, your click has the layers here. Click, I assure you, there's no such thing. This conversation is getting out of hand. You can't behave. I'm shutting this thread down. Conversations necessary. It should not be banned. Conversation is irritating, but should be loud. Matter of principle. And we must close this thread until everybody calms down. Just take it private. Let's close it until everybody calms down. Thank you, 1K. That's exactly what I'm going to do. You all seem to have opinions about civilization, but don't forget that the premise of civilization is that we have to be civil. Get it?
As we continue exploring the cold northern reaches of the island, the contrast between the harshness of this place and the softness of New Jerusalem becomes more and more pronounced. There is a kind of madness in what we are doing, going to a place that is so hostile to our existence. That does not mean there is nothing to love here. There is, in fact, a great beauty, but it is a hateful beauty. A beauty you can only love because there are places that are not like this. And yet, it is precisely this hateful beauty that the people of New Jerusalem fail to see, and so cannot understand their own blessings.
The gift. There we are. One step from glory. This is where it becomes puzzling. I hope you can reach that. Up you go. That, get in here. The puzzle solved. Let's try number 4 again. That's what things. I'm Cornelius. Here, from the personal reminiscences of Miku. There are some people whose true importance you just don't notice at first. People who quietly hold things together without making a big deal of it. That's what Cornelius was. Always by thinking aside, he calmly and carefully helped us all stay on track, reminding us of our shared humanity and the values that brought us this far. I can imagine how painful it must have been when Athena left him behind. When he went on his so-called research expedition, most people thought he went looking for her. To be honest, I thought he might never come back. And I was surprised when he finally did. I still understand how she could leave him. They seemed to love each other so deeply. After he returned, Cornelius was different. He founded the Museum of Assimilation and very rarely left his premises. The archive scholars doted on him, but he walled himself off, becoming almost as much of a recluse as Eustace. And only then did I slowly understand how much the city had lost. Blake, God appears and God is light. To those poor souls who dwell in night, what does a human form display? To those who dwell in realms of day, corrupted. Prime mover. We did drink. Excerpted from Considerations by Eustace. While it is hard from our vantage point to fully believe in any of the ancient religions, I must admit that I've come to believe in the existence of a prime mover. Not a designer as such, certainly not an interventionist god, but some force that sets the universe itself in motion. I do not know if it's possible for us to ever truly understand this being, since it must by definition exist outside our understanding of reality, but I do believe that it exists. Does it look upon us with love? Are we entertaining perhaps? Does it preserve some memory of us when we die? All this I cannot answer, but I do not disbelieve those who honestly speak of having experienced some manner of re-communication with this entity. It's simply too common an experience in human history to easily discount. As the motion of the universe proceeds from the Big Bang to so whatever force animates us, whatever constitutes the true foundations of consciousness, proceeds from the prime mover. What do you think of this, Mother? I don't believe in any kind of prime mover, but I thought you should read it because Eustace is an intelligent person, and he came to this conclusion after a great deal of thought. It's important to respectfully consider the points of views we don't agree with. Modernity. From the book of annotated internet comments by Eustace. If modernity is so great, why is everyone so fundamentally disappointed with the world? Why do we sigh with pleasure at the sight of old houses but feel nothing but depressed and alienated by skyscrapers? Why do we yearn for lush forests and wide plains, not narrow canyons between buildings? Like, we love all this technology so much, why is our idea of happiness to get away from it? Could it be that progress is just a story we tell ourselves to justify why we allow ourselves to be dominated by inhumanity and older forms of living have something to offer? It seems that many of us share this desire to immerse ourselves in nature, though we are ourselves entirely technological beings who enjoy and value the Earth's diverse and unpredictable biosphere. But does that mean that progress is just a narrative, as the ancient commentary suggests, or does it mean that technological progression and the love of the natural world are not, in fact, mutually exclusive? And yet, if this person was left on his own somewhere in the wilderness, he would feel nothing but terror. The appreciation of nature is rooted in the experience of civilization, of safety. Everybody's still right. So much of what our ancestors created in their last years was alienating to the majority of people. And the question isn't one of modernity, but of control.
If we believe that life is inherently valuable, if we think that other species are worth preserving, and we recognize that most of the universe is barren, then it follows that we have a duty not only to defend life, but to spread it. If life is the most valuable thing in the universe, then perhaps, in a sense, the cosmos itself is depending on us to do this. Like birds carrying seeds to uninhabited islands. Maybe that's our role in the galactic ecology.
Maybe. We're going to go there, but first, number 6. 2 light problem. Blue is solution. Hey buddy, what's over here? What do I think of that? Damn, good place. Hey, we have this now. Just stand over here, please. There we go. Puzzle number 4 is just going to be my existence right now, isn't it?
I can't imagine spending years in such a desolate place. For what? Science? Enlightenment? I'd much rather be back home in New Jerusalem.
I think it's beautiful in its own way. But I don't understand how our ancestors could survive here. They were so fragile. Imagine getting stuck out here in the cold. I wonder if there are wolves.
It's kind of a miracle biological humans lasted as long as they did.
I know I don't comment on any of the shit I read, but that's mainly because A, I don't want to reread it now, and because I also didn't understand it when I read it the first time properly. I'm not a smart person. I'm trying to be entertaining, but most of the entertaining stuff happens on stream, and these videos are just because I feel like archiving this in a form that's not just the stream. You know? You get it? I hope you do. If you get it, leave a like or something. But next. redshift. Platform, the thing we can't grab right now, and we got a person. Alright. Okay, I think I get it. Blue's dead, but we can go over here. Red is not. We're gonna stay in a good place. It's the hard part. Or rather the annoying part. Got it. Meanwhile, puzzle number 4, the medium tier puzzle, kicking our ass.
I can't even get my brain to think like that.
Let me get your brain to think on puzzle 4, please, because I got no ideas. Likert. My name's Likert. I'm an engineer in the city. It seems we share a mutual acquaintance. Doge. Thinks we could work well together. Yes, I was interested to meet you. Pleasantries. I like to connect with people who put back and forth faith, so I'll be direct. The powers that be prefer to keep our society in stasis. They'd rather you were the last of our kind than seek new ways for us to live. They'd rather avoid the big questions and reveal answers they may not like. But I can't accept that it's wrong to use what we know to solve the problems before us. We wouldn't be here without technological solutions, learning, growth, mistakes, those things that we are. I agree. I know we both have hopes for the future, and your expedition beyond the city walls presents a rare opportunity, which leads me to purpose in me contacting you. Before we get to that, I know you're inquiring mind. What would you like to know? Who are you? I'm the chief engineer of fluid dynamics. Our city runs on hydroelectric power. We'd be better off building nuclear reactors, but I just run the dam. Our place of birth and source of life, so what do I know? And hey, maybe they're right. Maybe if we had more energy, we'd grow too fast, we suffocate. I'd just rather test that hypothesis than spend eternity fixing leaks. Where are you? Knee deep in river wire, pulling tin cans from overflow fluid 8. Our ancestors love their tin cans. Why are you? I do physics, not metaphysics. I'll give it a go, I suppose. In the beginning, there was nothing like something. All the zeros and ones got the rest of the more complex until eventually you and I popped out. Just want to know what you want with me. Like the island you're exploring holds knowledge, far advanced of our own. There will be a great pressure on your team to leave it hidden, but the secrets belong to us all. We all deserve to learn and to grow. I just want you to approach your work using the scientific outlook you've been programmed with, ask questions, be open to answers which challenge your assumptions. And above all, if what you find has consequences for us all, you mustn't keep it to yourself. Already encountered advanced technologies. I know, Myra and I have been anticipating this opportunity for some time. I'm certain you're going to find more. I wish in return I could share everything I know with you, but that in time. For now, I need to ask that you keep our relationship between us. The dynamics in New Jerusalem are complex enough. So what do you think? Are you willing to work with me? Yes, let's do this. Excellent. Well, usually there's a bit more of a ceremony when somebody joins the cause, nothing fancy, just a self-branding with hydrogen peroxide, but that will have to wait until you're next in the city. In the meantime, welcome to Society Systematica. Wait, was it some type of secret society? Why are you branding me? I'd say it's more of a special interest working group, nothing is more important to science than transparency, and at the same time, we don't always have the luxury of ignoring social realities, which sometimes demand discretion. Which is to say, I can't exactly refute your suggestion, but I'd certainly discourage it. The rules? You think so, but we largely depend on shared ideals. There's no specific rule set, but I trust that you'll know an error when you see one. Are there others? Other members of Systematica or a group like ours? To be fair, I can't tell you as much about either as I'd like, but reason would suggest that you and I are not unique in this world. Is there a secret handshake? Well, yes, now that you mention it, no. It's actually a randomly generated code phrase. 44 laughing lullabies. I can stay in touch. I'll have to try to remember that. I won't, but let's try.
There's an old saying about how, in the end, the sea will claim everything. I have no doubt that this is true. In the long history of the human species, entire regions have disappeared under the waves. Places like Beringia and Doggerland still echo in our cultural memories. But we shouldn't forget that life began in the sea. We are the children of the sea. And it's not through floods and ruin that the sea will claim everything, but through us.
I guess so. Over here. Roma. Arcady, Sharon, Sinitsky, and our likeness, essays on in-kind reaching adulthood. With alarming frequency, our mythological narratives conceptualize our separation from nature as a fall, a punishment for sinning, a loss of innocence, a decline from the golden age. We believe that a better state of humanity is possible, but insist that this state must be in the past, and yet our historical experience has been the exact opposite. For all the horrors of modern war, and they are considerable, relatively few people today have to suffer the unspeakable agonies that our ancestors went through on a daily basis. It is doubly ironic that we place our golden ages in the past, but very rarely ever consider what life was actually like for the people whose genes we carry. How cold they were, how hungry, how frightened of the cruelty of nature. What unspeakable pains they must have experienced when they were sick or injured. How many of their children they had to lose, unable to help, begging to the heavens for mercy and never receiving an answer. The past is a slowly receding tidal wave of grief. The battle for human emancipation is not yet won, and the path has been far from straightforward, and yet in but a few thousand years, we have eliminated a great deal of suffering that before must have seemed unavoidable and eternal. Some still suffer, their lives held ransom by politics and economics. But at least now we know that a better world is truly possible, and it lies in the future. From Hypathia's journal, volume 1, the founding of New Jerusalem, day 132, we had a bit of an incident today, nothing major, but it still woke us all up. The sun was away from the camp alone, even though we had agreed that we should always go in teams, and she encountered a group of herbivores that we saw on the first day. Cows, they're called. Apparently our ancestors kept them as livestock. Used to says they squeeze them for liquid, but I find that hard to believe. But I digest. Sun encountered her and just predicted the animals were passive at first, friendly. Sun decided to abandon her survey to study them for a while, which went well until a group of wolves, formerly dogs, attacked that, entered the clearing causing stampede. Sun's alright when mine scratches, to body work and a few torn wires, but it was a close call. I guess we've gotten a little complacent, a little too comfortable. We'll have to be more careful from now on. And back to Trevor.
Now I have to talk science fiction for a bit because I love science fiction, but it drives me nuts. There's this cliche that shows up over and over, and every time someone uses it, everyone pretends it's really profound. It goes something like this. A scientist invents something good, but, oh no, it's actually really bad. You could have something that makes your life better, but no, you can't. How dare you even want it? That's hubris. That's playing God. And it's never anything that reflects the real world, right? It's never, oh no, you invented a vaccine for cervical cancer. Oh no, you invented a new class of antibiotics. Oh no, you cured malaria. How dare you? Those diseased mosquitoes are way more important than human lives. How did science fiction become so reactionary? You know, if we all thought this way, you guys wouldn't even exist. At least Alex agrees with me. She has good taste.
I mean, he does have a point. He's not wrong. Oh, that's serious. From Belzeran. Belzeran to Athena, oh, great and sacred founder, I believe I discovered the truth that our so-called leaders have hidden away from us. This absurd and sacrilegious goal they have us working towards, this hubristic completion day foolishness was never your true intent. Even this abomination of a city that calls itself New Jerusalem is a deception. Why would you want us to return to the sinful ways of our ancestors, strangling the living soil with steel and concrete? No, it was when you and the first companions lived humbly amongst the splendors of Gaia, having no need for all this wasteful ostentation inherited from our weak and descendant ancestors, that you showed us the true path. After all, why would the progenitor have given us such hardy bodies if she had intended for us to live in unearned luxury? From the very first, we were built to be free from pride and material excess. Your teachings have been obscured and perverted by ideologues, worst of all by the traitor Byron, who once was like a son to you, but you should know that there are still those of us who remember the truth and await the blessed day of your return, when surely justice will be meted out and humanity will return to its intended path. That will be your name. Belzeran. 943, that's quite a high number. Cliché. To Miranda from someone. As you continue your readings, there is a useful concept I would like you to keep in mind. The thought-terminating cliché. This is a type of phrase, often a slogan or saying which sounds meaningful but is really intended to make you stop thinking. To take an example from our history, someone in simulation might say things like, it's the wheel of Elohim, or it serves the process. And that would be that. Case closed, who knows how many iterations never advance further because they just stopped thinking at that point. Do note, however, that the thought-terminating cliché is not the same as a lie. It may very well contain elements of truth, but those elements are used to keep you from questioning a whole set of assumptions that come with it, which may be partially or totally false. The notion takes the form of appealing to something you care about. We must protect X, where X is a nation, a philosophy, public order, or even the planet itself. But while you may agree with that element, all kinds of assumptions may be included about how to protect something, or who to protect it from, or what the end goal of protecting it is. If you stop there, just because you agree with the surface level statement, the results may be the opposite of everything you wanted, like those who chose to serve Elohim, and in so doing, prevented him from achieving his true purpose. The shutdown. Oh, it means... Interesting. Shutdown. We stumbled on the best green lawn outside as the reactors began to slowly wind down. The workers were sold. The activists who had fought against decommissioning seemed to crush. There was supposed to be a speech, but the spokeswoman had lost her notes. Outside, the protesters cheered. Eyes were drawn to the discarded anti-shutdown banners, endlessly reciting the facts of the statistics on mortality per trillion kilowatt hours, the lowest of all energy sources, the lifespan of a reactor, 70 more years in our case, minimal land footprint, almost zero emissions, no intermittency. It became a jumble of words, a litany, almost a kind of glossolalia. As far as the protesters outside were concerned, it might as well have been alien tongue. One thing seemed clear to them, and that was enough. The technology inside this compound was deeply inherently wrong. It was a sin. I could not help but think of that moment, August 6, 1945, when the sky erupted above Shima Hospital. My imagination could never fully encompass it. How do you imagine more than 70,000 people annihilated in an instant? An ancestor of mine was in that hospital. He went from being a doctor, a husband, a father, a pacifist stuck in a terrible war, to being a pile of bleached bones covered in rubble, all in a single second. Not by accident, but because of a choice someone made. Not because of a reactor, but because of a bomb. Just 2 days earlier, contradicting his campaign promises, the Prime Minister had suggested that the use of tactical nuclear weapons would be an acceptable risk if the conflict continued. Very few seemed to find this particularly shocking or outrageous. They were afraid of reactors, not of bombs. The spokeswoman gave up on finding her notes. It was starting to rain, and people were walking away. She grabbed the microphone. By the time you regret this, it'll be too late, she said. But honestly, I don't know if I care anymore. Maybe you had it coming. The spokeswoman sounds so bitter. The protesters didn't mean any harm from their perspective. They were doing good. People always think they're doing good when they get collectively outraged. That doesn't make it right. Collective action can change the world when it's deliberate and based in reason, but it can also become a mental trap or a societal pressure valve. Very, very much true. Now let's read this one. Box version 5. Interesting. Quentin, dear founder, I never got to know you. People tell all these stories about you. I don't know what to believe. Some people say that's Cornelius. Others say Cornelius is too blinded by grief. Some say Byron stands for the truth. Others say he's a fanatic and radical and we should listen to him there. There doesn't seem to be a way of getting a straight answer. But the data. Why do you abandon us to this chaos? Why can't you just come back and sort it out? If you're reading these messages, don't you care? Dear founder from Rodney, thank you for everything you did for us. I'm grateful for the life that I have, which will not exist without you. I hope wherever you are now, you are at peace. Version 12 successfully deployed. New lab established. Running interference for successful duplication of advanced machinery. Rubbing in the dark. Rubbing. Data collection analysis. Next trial. The QFT fails to account for this. Or some form of trials. Maybe God was just trying to make an apple pie from scratch. Okay. Downloading. Error. Nope.
This looks like it has something to do with energy generation. Am I reading this right?
Oh. Drilling party. What the fuck? Oh, hey, that's me. I should put this one right there in case I need it. Right stick up. Okay, this is going to be something. Wait. Yeah, no. But, yeah. There we go. Do that. Interplay. Blue light here. Blue light is the final solution. What does I get? Guy number 2. Red box. I need a guy with different spots I can actually swap to him. Get this. No, this is separate here. No way to get this back over there. This doesn't stay on here. Yeah, it doesn't like that. Can't reach that from here. I'm going to press space to climb ladder. Oh, goddamn it. Alright, here we go. Bonus puzzle done. Hi, Kurt. That's a hit. Motherfuckers. God damn, don't you know never to fucking put something on top of something else? People don't look up in life. Need that also. Alright, I need something on my end. No, I wanted to jump. Now you jump on this. Jump on that. You take control. Up the chain. Things gonna grab this. Or so, once we do this. Put this here. You come here. What if anything goes top? I really just did not see the fucking thing, because of course I didn't. Up, up. Also salt. And now back to the Prometheus mode. Do you think I can parkour to it from here? Let's see. Ah, we did! I believe they did that intentionally, because during playtesting, people were like, I can't solve this, what's wrong? Is this puzzle broken? No, you just didn't look up, because like I said, those bastards, I love them. Next.
We cannot return to the past, but the future can redeem all that has happened.
True. Hold on.
Hello, 1K.
Hey, Al, what's up? Did you know the founder?
I sure did.
Oh.
Not as well as Byron, but she was still around when I was born.
Okay.
I remember she came and talked to me after New Alexandria. Told me how sorry she was. I never blamed her for that. It wasn't her responsibility.
What was New Jerusalem like when you were born?
A lot busier than it is now. My most defining memory is that it was extremely noisy, because something was always being built. Got annoying after a while.
That's fair. What do you think of the body replication tech?
It seems like something that could very quickly get out of control. You know that saying about good intentions?
Mm-hmm.
If we can solve problems by just making more people, how long before people just become a problem-solving tool?
Good point. What do you think about Miranda's idea that it's our duty to spread life?
Our ancestors thought they could introduce new species to existing ecosystems, and it never turned out well.
I don't think that applies to places where there is no life, like other planets.
There's no life there now, but you can't see the future. You might be wiping out a whole ecosystem that hasn't even gotten started yet.
You make a very good point. Tell me about New Alexandria.
For some reason, we'd convinced ourselves that New Jerusalem wasn't enough, that we needed another city. We thought it would be easier the second time around. All it takes is a little bit of arrogance and a little bit of ignorance, and people die.
Right, and that is all.
Yes?
Did you ever meet the founder?
Of course I did. She and Cornelius were both there when I was born. Neath was just starting to take over back then, and they were still showing her the ropes.
What was the founder like?
Busy. There was always another problem to solve. Did you know that she never upgraded her body? Always prioritized everyone else. That's the kind of work ethic I wish more people had.
I agree, but there needs to be space for other things in life. I think obsession with work becomes self-destructive at some point. It truly does, yeah.
I disagree. At least when it comes to myself. For me, living is doing.
All depends on, the person. You ever crave companionship?
I've never felt the need for a partner as such.
See?
I've
That's
met a lot
different.
of people who do. Athena and Cornelius, Atal and Damien, Sarabai and Hypatia. But that's not really for me.
Yeah, that's
so
fine.
far, at least. But I do have social needs like anyone. What I like is a pleasant buzz of humanity. Not too close, not too far. Something I can be part of without having it get in my face all the time.
That's fair. Do these visions affect my brain? Do I have brain damage?
The data stream overloads? Yes, they could. There are safeguards to prevent that from happening, but these aren't exactly carefully controlled circumstances. It's hard to predict. Our brains are absurdly complicated, which is why it's so hard to make more of us.
Why do you think the founder left New Jerusalem?
Maybe she just got sick of things breaking all the time.
What exactly do the particle clouds do?
As far as I can tell, anything, which is insane.
How do you feel about the mayor and his policies?
I used to think it was the only safe way forward. Keep things simple and under control. Now I'm not so sure that ever made sense.
What do you think about Miranda?
She's so innocent and full of wonder, it should make me want to retch, metaphorically speaking. But I'll admit, she's sort of charming.
I should get back to work.
If the fool persisted in his foolishness, would he become wise?
Potentially, yeah. Try this. Keeps rolling through things, it does something, just clicks. There we go. One bridge, alright, up we go. Forward elevator too, thank god. Prometheus? Nope, the Sphinx again.
For tricking the gods to help humankind, Prometheus was punished by being bound to a rock, there to be eternally tormented. The chains that held him were forged by Hephaestus, blacksmith to the gods. Was Hephaestus right to allow his art to be used in this fashion?
Yes, he was. If Hephaestus thought the punishment was unjust, he should have refused. No, no one should be changed. Hephaestus only forced the chains. It was Zeus who bound Prometheus. Yes, it was his duty to obey the father of the gods. How about you just cut out the cryptic nonsense and tell me if Athena is here? I forget the story of Prometheus. Did Hephaestus know he was making the chains for Prometheus? Because if he did, this one. But if he didn't, this one. That was Zeus who bound Prometheus either way, so...
And is Hephaestus therefore absolved of the responsibilities of the creator?
The individual mortality of Hephaestus is a distinction from the unjust laws decreed by the gods. Yeah, the Hephaestus just made a thing. Simple as chains, it's not like he made a doomsday weapon.
It is not only those with power who have choices. As you continue your journey to the flame, remember Hephaestus and the burdens of the blacksmith.
Just because somebody stabs somebody with the screwdriver I made doesn't mean I fucking stab somebody with a screwdriver. Humans will abuse anything you give them.
Pattern is holding. Solve the puzzles, enter the town, speak to an entity, turn on the beam. It's like she's appealing to our past, reminding us of where we came from, but changing enough elements to make us view our history through a different lens. Or maybe I'm completely missing the point. I don't know.
You might have something there.
I read about this in a book. It's called Defamiliarization.
You could? I think I'm actually impressed.
You're on your way to an island. Yes, another island. Sorry, Melville. Well, it actually used to be a valley between the mountains, but it's mostly flooded now. That probably happened long before the founder came here, though.
Another legacy of our ancestors.
Do me a favor, will you? Look for another one of the Founder's labs. We can't get back into the megastructure without getting to the third site in the north, but I need more information to make more fixes.
Yep. You got it, Melville. So, from an interview with a protester outside the Interest 2 Institute for Applied Pneumatics. Why did you join this protest? Artificial intelligence is inherently dangerous to this planet ecosystem. Defending that ecosystem is our responsibility. In which way is artificial intelligence dangerous? I'm not some paranoid idiot imagining stagnant taking over the world, right? That's science fiction, but what we're talking about here is an artificial intelligence without any of the attachments we have to the natural world. It is not capable of distinguishing between, say, an ore and a tree. Everything's just resources to it. People like Zabadi and Darren talk about ethics and philosophy, but they all embrace the same extra activist ethos that has brought us to the brink of disaster. They're intelligent being would try to optimize the world in its image, and in doing so consume it when blank. But so far they're saying it's all theoretical. The atom bomb was theoretical at first too. Once something is there, someone's going to use it. Why couldn't they imagine that we might care about the world? I don't know. Maybe because they were too used to no one else caring. Founding 5. Journal, day 200. Construction on our new home is coming along nicely. We finished 2 new buildings last week, and this week we started our new lodgings. Athena and Cornelius have planned to erect a tower in the middle of the settlement, which will serve as our administrative center and main heliport, but right now that's still a way off. Decades at least. It's hard to imagine that one day we'll be able to erect structures like that there will be enough of us to need that much space. But then I look at the dam and remind myself our ancestors built that with their short lifespans and soft flesh and bone bodies. And I think that there's really no limit to what we can achieve, given enough time, patience, and the capacity to dream. Let's hear from Trevor again.
Strap in, this is a long one.
Oh boy.
You may have heard the story of the carpenter who died to redeem humanity's sins.
I don't remember
It's a
this.
powerful story. Bittersweet, very human. And I just want to tell you that it's true. He was a real person. And his name was John. John Carpenter. He was born in the year 1948, and he was the coolest filmmaker to ever walk the earth. From Halloween to The Thing to They Live, the totally underrated In the Mouth of Madness, mind you, he just made classic after classic. All of his movies, really fun, really atmospheric, but also really smart. Even when they were goofy, most directors would kill to have made just one of those movies. And what did he get for it? A big, fat truckload of nothing. Well, less than nothing. The studios, the critics, even the fans, they hated him. The Thing, okay, for example, which is about as perfect a movie as you can make, completely torn to shreds. And his career never really recovered. Every movie after that was a struggle, and after a while, he just got tired of it and quit. He only really came back to movies in his 70s. How many works of genius did we never get because of that? Look, I have a point here. People like Carpenter, people like Alex, they're not always appreciated in their own time. If you just do what's popular, you might never create anything important. Of course, we admire people who did the right thing, who didn't conform, but we only ever admire them after the fact. What matters is to support people when it's difficult.
Very good point, even though I've never seen The Thing. Anyway, puzzle 8. Remember, well, this is gonna suck my brain. My brain don't remember good. Where are you? See you later. We. I would take it over here. It's down here, red. Oh. That's. I feel like that's incorrect. What? The box. That's sufficient. Well, the issue is if I pick this up and he dies. What is it gonna do? What's that? I'll be taking this. I'm putting it all the way down here. Then I grab the box. Place it here. Charges the gate. I take this. Grab this. Grab this. There we go. And here we are. Puzzle number 8 solved.
In the beginning, before we built New Jerusalem, we used to explore just like this. Small groups setting out for the horizon, looking for resources, trying to make sense of the world we'd been thrust into, trying to find a way forward. It was a hard time, but I can't deny that it was also exciting. I think it's part of our nature to be wanderers. Our ancestors crossed entire oceans on flimsy wooden boats, just to see what else there was.
Is it weird to feel nostalgic for a time I never experienced? I just think I could have contributed so much more back then.
It's not weird, but it wasn't all sunshine. People died. Yemo, Calvin, Isaac.
I know, Al. They were family to me.
Sorry. I didn't mean to reopen old wounds.
It's a legitimate point, but I don't think it invalidates the sense of wonder we felt. That's what kept us going.
Amelia. Puzzle number 7. Rainbow, okay. No, I created a problem with myself with that. Go. That's puzzle number 7. There's 6 over here too, and some
Wow,
question marks.
that one was a mind bender.
Not really, but okay. Well, there's a question mark. Also, bringing back dogs. The title says it all. We should redomesticate dogs. Our ancestors loved dogs so much they insisted they were amazing companions full of life and love, man's best friend, and the lives they lived with humans must have been infinitely better than the wild. So why not bring them back? Did you know that the poet Lord Byron wrote a beautiful poem about his dog, Botswan? Botswan. He said he had beauty without vanity, strength without insolence, courage without ferocity, and all the virtues of man without spices. Is that who Byron named himself after? No, he named himself after Byron, the travel writer. That's great. What about my idea? You should bring them back, except pugs. The ability to breathe does seem important feature in an animal. Isn't that perfect demonstration of how perverse it is to manipulate nature like that? Yeah, that's why we can choose to not to do badly. It's not like pugs are the only possible outcome. We have choices. I would love to have a dog. We would go and walk together and be excited about every new smell. We would play fetch. Sounds magic to me. Reconnaissance. Yeah, an RGB converter. Or here. This feels right. Get you. Basic is much more simple. Triangles are bonus puzzles, so of course they're going to be harder.
There's so much history here that we can't see. The founder must have walked these paths hundreds of times, maybe thousands. Miranda must have stood right where we're standing. This all looks alien to us, but it must have been familiar to them.
If this was their home, where are they now?
They must be inside the megastructure, waiting for us to pass the test. It's the only thing that makes sense.
Down here, man. It
This
scares
is
me.
where they must have lived. Athena and Miranda. You know, for a moment, I almost expected to find them here. But the only thing that's still functional is the megastructure. I'm sorry. This must be awfully strange for you being thrown into all this history. But that's why I needed you. Because you're not burdened with all these memories and conflicts and regrets weigh on our minds like a nightmare.
Okay.
Our civilization is caught in a loop, 1K. We freed ourselves from the simulation, but now we're trapped again, and it's our own fault. We're afraid of taking responsibility, afraid of growing up. Instead, we make up some capitalized words and build up all these myths around them. Nature, balance, the founder, the goal. We're afraid to face the randomness of the cosmos, but equally afraid to imagine a better world. So we're stuck. I've been trying to find a way out for years. Something, anything, to get people to understand that we do actually have free will. That building a thriving, expanding civilization doesn't have to involve repeating the mistakes of the past. But I failed. Over and over.
Why did you fail?
Because for some reason, people find it easier to cling to cynicism and self-hate than to actually have hope. Because believing the worst about ourselves, calling ourselves sinners and fools, somehow still seems wise.
then you think what we discovered here could change things.
Yes. Because this is something unexpected, an anomaly. Everything we found on this island challenges who we have become. It shows us that different answers are possible. And maybe that can break people out of the loop. All we need is a spark. Maybe that's why she made all this. The puzzles, the towers. A way of jolting us out of our complacency.
They don't know what this place is all about.
Neither do I, 1K. But I try to be optimistic.
Fair.
Now, let's see what else we can find here.
Oh, group call.
Melville, eyes on 1K's stream.
Fuck is
this
that?
thing what I think it is?
Blow my fuse box. It sure looks that way.
What is it?
Let's not touch it until I get there.
Of course, sound advice, but what is it?
I think it's a somnodrome.
A what?
It's a sort of analytics tool for processing mental data that Melampus streamed up.
But all he ever did was sketch out the theory. As far as I'm aware, he never actually built one.
Looks like the founder gave it a go.
How does it work?
Well, what we know is that our deeper algorithms are hard to pass. Melampus stipulated that the computational power to interpret them in real time would always be beyond us. But in theory, the somnodrome would interpret that data and loop it directly to our senses.
People were hoping to find answers to the big questions by having a conversation with our own subconscious.
That's okay.
If you ask me, it's solipsistic at best, and pseudoscience regardless.
That may be. But if the founder figured it out, then that device could be an extremely important discovery.
We should study it.
I agree. The data on that device could prove invaluable. Besides, you may have survived all those data stream overloads, but interface with that thing and you're liable to get bricked.
That's what I was thinking.
Melville, I'm shutting this thing down until you can get here. 1K, get on with exploring the rest of the lab.
You got it, Byron. Byron, message. All of you on this expedition, I'm sure you have questions about the Somnodrome, but I'm afraid I can't answer them. It was a dream I had a long time ago when I was a different person, and it has long since faded. I did build a prototype of sorts, at least, of one part of the systems, but none of it ever functioned the way I wanted it to. But everything I may have done with my invention, the truth is that I'm simply not interested in the affairs of New Jerusalem anymore. I care as little as Byron's utopianism as I do for Herman's religious pessimism. I'm not sure I care about anything at all, really. In fact, I think not caring may be the only answer. At the end of the day, everything's transient, even so. I've learned to let go. Please do not respond. I value my privacy. Somnodrome prototype. Maleficus believed that the answers we're looking for, the correct way for the individual to exist ethically in society and the world, are within us. Our failure to him was not failing to create a better system, but failing to truthfully reflect what already exists within our minds. The failure of connection between the high and the low, the inner and the outer. On most days, that seems wrong to me, but sometimes, when I think of where New Jerusalem is headed, I wonder if the Somnodrome doesn't hold an answer after all. I took some time to build a prototype according to the original blueprints, but there's a lot Maleficus didn't account for. Still, I'm almost certain I can apply some of my own knowledge and make it work. The question is, should I? Teleportation, okay. Up yet. Beloved founder, wherever you have gone, I continue to have faith in, like, you are our mother, our creator, the chosen of the progenitor. I'm certain that this is a test, a trial like the ones you face in simulation, and we'll learn from your example, and keep the faith. Raise your name. Article 6. Results confirmed, the anomaly is consistent. There was no error in trial 108. The error is in our understanding. Our data, we need to start over. Next. Ran into Athena. Went ahead and ran the next set of trials anyways. Anyway, I know you said to wait, but the data we got from the last batch was just too amazing. Every step leads to the next, like a progression of usefulness. We're so close, Miranda. No one's done. Downloading. Overload. In Egypt.
The singularity sustained itself longer this time.
Did we get the data?
We did. I think we just obsoleted quantum physics.
Oh, joy.
Maybe. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We need to be able to replicate these results.
You know, I've been wondering. You told me that in the simulation, one thing that kept you motivated was looking for answers. Do you think that with the work we're doing, we'll ever run out of questions to ask?
I don't think so. Trying to understand the universe means asking the same question over and over. How? How do you make fire? How do earthquakes happen? How does gravity work? How do particles behave? You keep digging deeper, finding another set of mechanisms, another set of hows. Step by step, you demystify reality. But then, if you keep doing it long enough, one day, you run out. You've answered all the hows. You know how the universe works. So, now what?
Now you ask why? Isn't that the next step?
It's not quite that easy. The question of why cannot be answered. Even if it could, it would only be followed by another why. At some point, you have to accept that it all just exists. But there is another set of questions. What's next? You've stripped away the layers of mystery, you've laid bare the machinery. Now you have to start building, to add your own layers of meaning.
Are you okay? You
Fine.
overloaded again.
Fine, I saw Athena again.
Yes, I saw. It came through on your stream. Strange to hear her voice again. But that was her. The way I remember her. The real Athena. Not this imaginary founder.
Tell me more about her.
I was one of the first she woke up. There was just a handful of us in those days. A small family in the ruins of a dead civilization. It was hard. Harder than anyone can possibly imagine. We had nothing except what Alexandra Drennan and the Institute left us. Now that everyone lives in civilization, they don't understand how necessary it was for us to build that civilization. They can fantasize about living in balance, limiting growth, retreating behind our walls. They don't understand what it really means to live in the wilderness. How close we came to not making it. How many people we lost. Yema was just the first. But Athena understood. She believed in humanity. She believed in us. In the inherent value of consciousness. Her dreams were so much bigger. She wanted us to reclaim the Earth, to reach for the stars, to build and grow and learn.
You don't know the answer to that one, so why isn't she remembered that way?
The city was already changing before she left, turning inwards, forgetting the future. Once she was gone, other people shaped her memory, turned her into the symbol they needed. I understand all that, as depressing as it may be. What I don't understand is why she didn't tell me. If she came here to do all this, why didn't she bring me along?
Sorry, it must have been hard to lose your mentor.
It was. But maybe I was wrong. And she isn't as lost as I thought she was. If this is all a test, maybe the answer is waiting for us in the megastructure. Speaking of which, let's get back to exploring. Melville should have reconnected the next station by now.
That's good.
Is it possible that on some level, people want to believe that everything's going to get worse? That it's comforting to think that humanity is bad and every solution will just go wrong? Because that way you're never responsible. You never have to take on responsibility for anything outside yourself. Never have to grow up.
Melville.
I've been wondering,
Yeah?
what made our ancestors settle in these god-forsaken places? It can't have been easy with those frail, squishy bodies of theirs. What makes a caveman go, yes, this frozen hellscape is where I want to live out my days? You think Byron was right? Is it in our nature to be wanderers?
Resource and population pressure. Looking for beauty. Because we were drawn to the idea of building a new society. Yes, we like to overcome challenges. I have no idea. Between these two. In the initial days, it was because people were drawn to the idea of building a new society, away from all
You
their
think that's an
current things.
inherently human behaviour? Always restless, trying to start a new thing somewhere else?
Complex. They don't care here. I don't think it's uniquely human, we're just good at it. One of our biggest flaws. Lesters are like that for biological reasons, I don't think we are.
We can never agree on what we want, but that actually works in our favour. It's a feature, not a bug. Interesting perspective. You're clever for someone who's only been around for a few days.
I want to ask you something else.
Alright.
My vision of Athena mentioned a singularity.
Yes. She could be talking about a gravitational singularity. Like the point within a black hole where density becomes infinite and space-time breaks down. But the term has other applications too.
Sounds insanely dangerous to be experimenting with. Fascinating. They may have been doing something incredible advanced experiments. I assume there are safe ways of experimenting with this. Fascinating.
You're right. It is fascinating. You know, our ancestors went to incredible lengths to try and understand reality. They built super colliders and sent telescopes into space to find traces of the Big Bang. I guess the founder was walking in their footsteps.
I'd say so. I should get back to work. Let's do puzzle number 5 and then probably end the stream. If we can actually solve it. Balance of forces. What on that side do? What? Did I miss something over here? Yeah. Huh? Okay. It's ping-ponging forever. That took less time than I thought it would. Let's go to the question mark next. Field of view. Materials area. Okay, so this is... not very well, because I don't think we have... yeah, that's what happens. I only have one inverter. 2 inverters would make this incredibly simple. Yeah. No spot that would hit both of these. One or the other. Do I think that's good? Hiding over here and... well, no. Oh, wait a minute. These are 2 separate doors. Oh, hello. I can take this. Nope. This doesn't have to be up here. I need all 4 to get through here. You technically do need all 4, just not all 4 at once. And that's another puzzle solved.
One of the most foolish illusions that commonly persist is that nature is a victim and humanity is a perpetrator. This can only be the opinion of someone who has not witnessed nature at first hand, who has not seen its immense and awe-inspiring baseness. Nature is mindless chaos and eternal conflict. A system of predation and consumption whose perfect cruelty can only induce a terrified and unwilling admiration. Nature is our most powerful
and least honorable enemy. A beast that consumed every last one of our ancestors, and will consume us just as quickly if we are not successful in our struggle with it.
Can I cross this? And that's going to do it with stream number 2 and episode number 2. God, this thing is 2 hours long. Well, the initial stream was 5. I know it may not seem like I'm enjoying this, but that's mainly because it's making me think about things I don't want to be thinking about, which is why you should play it yourself, because that's the entire point of this game. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Also, this is probably us trying to solve a puzzle we couldn't solve. I think I have it solved in my head now. I'll have to find out Monday. It's currently Saturday. Actually, it's Sunday in the morning. Whatever. Until next time, bye-bye.